Hello and thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show. The man with 1,000 faces, from Batman to Michael Jackson and Madonna and Peter Pan. Today's guest is said to be the best quick change performer in the world. Let's meet Arturo Brachetti. Arturo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Grazie mille, of course.
Millions of people have seen you perform. How many costumes have you got?
Oh, at home I have 450 costumes in a warehouse. Sometimes I just look at them like old pictures.
And how many changes do you do a night?
About, 60 characters, which means more changes, because there is some scenes like the wedding scene that you saw in the show. And there are only 5 characters, but coming and going, so it's 21 changes in 5 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you're in Paris with your new show, which is called Solo, and it's at the Theatre du 13e Art until December.
Yes.
It's kind of the highlights of the shows that you've done over the years.
Yes, it's more or less the best of, with something new, of course. More high-tech, more daring, more faster, whatever.
OK, well, let's take a look at the show.
Oh, great.
I'm calling you like a quick change artist, but you're a magician.
Yes, I started as a magician when I was in seminary. You know, when I was 11, very little boy, a bit shy, they put me in a seminary. Said, yeah, you can talk and play with somebody. And then at the age of 13, I met a priest who was a magician. He taught me magic tricks. He had a room full of books and strange objects, and I learned magic. And I came out of my shyness like this. And I rediscovered this art of metamorphosis. Because in fact, it was a forgotten art, Italian forgotten art, because the last one died in 1936. So I had a book and I dreamed about these pictures, and I came out with an act. I arrived in Paris in '79. I was the only one in the world back then.
Wow. And in the 21st century, I mean, you've been doing it for roughly 40 years. We're in a time when everyone sees what's going on backstage.
Yes.
There's no secrets anymore. How do you keep the mystery for the audience?
You have to be careful, you know, that nobody from the wings are there with a iPhone and so on. But we keep the secrets. We might make the people sign, of course, terrible papers, confidentiality papers. But apart of that, the tricks sometimes are really naive. There is some act where there is no trick costumes. It's just a wonderful organization with the assistant. You know, as soon as I leave one wall, I'm already inside in another costume because my assistants are waiting there, and so on. When I just step here, maybe there's one assistant who changed my shoes in the same time. So it's a coordination between all of us. So it's very. Yes, entertainment from the wing sometimes.
Because lots of people say you've actually got an identical twin or triplets. That's what they used to say, wasn't it?
Well, I have a brother who doesn't look like me, that's all. But would it be too easy to have a triplet or a twin brother? And people, who, especially the one who are sitting in the front row, you said, I know it's always you because one glitter was stuck here and all the characters had the glitter stuck here, of course, because it's my head. You know?
Well, we spoke to some of the audience who are at the show. Let's hear what they had to say.
Oh, great.
It's poetic. It's too funny.
It's some sort of magic. It's cool.
What's great is how fast he changes his costumes.
It's incredible to see the level of work put in because they just don't give any clues away.
I appreciated his joy, his positivity, his energy.
I was blown away. I was gobsmacked.
There you go. Well, as you said, you've been doing this for 40 years. When you were 20, you were the first one doing it in the world. Since then, you've become a massive star in Italy and France and other European countries. But this isn't really something we see in the English-speaking world, is it? Why do you think that is?
Well, I worked in England '83 and in 2009. And both time I was nominated for the Olivier Award for the West End. And but in England, even though it was is a country fascinated with musical and acts because it's part of their culture, it didn't really give me this big opportunity like Paris. In Paris I have a statue at the Wax Museum who changes costumes every 20 seconds. It's terrible because she does it many more things more times than me because she changed 2,000 times a day. But I have wonderful souvenir of England and I hope to come back, yes.
And it takes you less than 2 seconds to change.
1.5. The Guinness Book of Records says 1.5.
1.5.
I don't know how they call it. It's like this,
I wish you'd help my son put his clothes on in the morning because that definitely takes a bit longer than that.
I'm very slow in the morning as well, I can tell you.
Well, let's take a look at some of the challenges involved.
Benny Hill music.
Benny Hill music.
Fantastic, yes. Sometimes, kids are coming in the dressing room and they have the hair like this. So the poor kid said, "This is for you." But, kids, they have a wonderful audience, aptitude. A few years ago, the family arrived in the dressing room and the little kid of 5 years old asked me, "But now you're going to your hotel?" I said, "Yes." "But are you driving home or you fly?"
You're a superhero.
It was fantastic because, yes, he believed I was able to fly like in the show. And that was the most touching thing I heard since years,
Now, you're 60 this year. There is a big section of children's characters in your performance, including like Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. It seems to me like you don't ever want to grow up.
Probably. A few years ago I went to my psychologist and I said, "People think that I have a Peter Pan syndrome." And he said, "Yes, you have it. But that's what makes you eat, So feed your child, even, with a bit of rationality, the organization. In the show, I'm fighting with my shadow. The shadow is played by Kevin Michael Moore. And the shadow is the rationality, the part of us that stays on the ground, like lie on the ground and takes you down to the ground. And my spirit goes up. I'm probably 13 in prison in a body of 60-year-old man. In my house is full of secret passages and moving walls and talking mirrors and so on. Yeah, it's a fun house.
You rarely do anyone political though or controversial.
In which sense?
Your characters, they're all sort of magical characters.
Yes,
You're not interested?
No. I found it very, like taxes, something that makes you older and suffer and for nothing sometimes.
And recently your producer and the big showbiz producer of many of the big French-speaking acts, Gilbert Rozin, stood down following allegations of sexual misconduct. Without him in this in the showbiz world, in French variety, how do you think things will change?
But his company, he's leaving the company, but this company is made by many different people. So I worked for years with a lot of producers and secretary and program, tourneur, we say in French. So people who are fantastic. So sometimes it doesn't mean that if your boss made something wrong, that all the company made of hundreds of people, they are all wrong and so on. So we keep going and see what's happening.
And your show Solo is on in Paris until December.
Yeah.
What are you doing after that?
Well, we go to Lyon 3 weeks and then Italy and then back to France. So we are on the road until May.
Until May, wow. Well, just before we go, in your show you are the man of many faces.
Yes.
But also of many hats.
Yes, many hats and wigs. In fact, I brought my favorite hat here. Is this one, you see?
A versatile hat.
You say, "Oh, yeah, but there's a hole in the middle." Yes, but that's the part interesting because with the hat I can make journey. If I want to go to Russia, I just go like this, and I am a Russian hussar. Then I go to Switzerland, William Tell, or England. That's England. Prince Charles, if you want, going on a horse, or Elton John in one is his concert, or if you want to go to Hollywood, I can be, I don't know, Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra. You know, where is it? I forgot it, actually. It's a bit Taylor in Cleopatra. That's it, right? Okay, or Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. How
many characters can you do with this one hat?
The fireman, the samurai, let's say, and then I can finish, of course, with Napoleon. Voila! Yes, I can do about 25 different characters with the hat.
25 characters.
And this act is few centuries old, okay. So I didn't invent it. It was done by an Italian in 1616. So you see, all the ideas are coming back in the story of the humanity. Thank God.
Arturo, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Today, in your show, It's Solo is on at the Théâtre du 13e Art in Paris until
Place
December.
d'Italie. Yes.
In Place d'Italie. We're going to wrap up with an exhibition that you've actually chosen. Tell us about the Hermès exhibition at the Grand Palais.
Yes, that's fantastic because she's a window dresser, and so you see the work of somebody who is not the great artist or the great costume designer, well, fashion designer, but somebody who create the windows for him, and it was it's really surprising, very theatrical. So I loved it.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave you with that exhibition, the Hermès exhibition that's on at the Grand Palais in Paris. Remember our website. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.